With the imposter syndrome, it's really easy to get in your head. How did I get here? How am I at this level? How am I achieving what I'm achieving? Is this even real?
I know how it feels to feel like you're fooling everybody, like you're too much and not enough, all at the same time. It's a lonely place to be, but I want you to know that you're not alone, that this mind game can stop, that there's no one like you or me, and that's where your power lives. That's what makes you genuinely great. That's what makes you the real deal. And this is The Real Deal with Bre Clark. You know those confident people that you meet who are just so excited about life? That's Billy Floyd. My friend Billy has a lot of good things going for him. His own podcast, a budding musical career, years of experience as a media personality. He also deals with imposter syndrome, but he shares how he stays locked in. That's his mantra for motivation and empowerment for himself and for you. All right, Billy, locked in. This is your mantra. Tell me what locked in means.
I'm so glad that you asked.
Yeah.
Bre, locked in means no dwelling on the past and no freaking out about the future. We're here. We're present. We're in the moment. We're focused. We are locked in. Here's a fun fact for you. You are in the right place at the right time at all times. There's nowhere else to be. We're locked in on the real deal. What a time to be alive. This is it. Come on.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because for people who suffer with imposter syndrome, that for them means something else. It means that they aren't worthy of where they are because they were just in the right place at the right time. Speak to that for me.
When I say you're in the right place at the right time at all times, it means all the opportunities are right there. You can't be waiting for something to come to you. You can't be waiting for the right moment. It's like, here's the moment. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what can happen right here and right now. And I think when people have a big break or when a great opportunity comes to them, it's so easy for people to say like, no, this is too good to be true. Like, I'm lucky. Luck does not exist. If someone says to me, good luck, respectfully, I'm like, I don't need luck. I'm prepared for this. Yeah. Please, respectfully, don't tell me that because it doesn't exist. So I think people try to trick themselves into thinking like, I'm not worthy of this greatness. I'm not worthy of these opportunities, of these blessings. And it's like, why would you say that to yourself? If you embrace, yeah, I got that job offer. Yeah, I met the person of my dreams. Yeah, I get to be on The Real Deal. Then you just keep that mind frame, you keep that momentum, you're locked in, and then you're just going to attract more and more and more. It's all mindset. If you have that positivity bug going crazy up here, you're going to attract everything you're envisioning. And don't get me wrong, it's not all flowers, rainbows, and butterflies. There's so many dark moments. Yeah. There's a lot of anxiety that comes with pursuing your dreams. But that's when you just have to battle through and be like, all right, I'm locked in on dealing with anxiety. I'm locked in. I know the storm's going to pass. I'm going to be fine. Why would I freak out? Yeah. We're good.
I love your confidence. How have you been able to find that or hold on to that or lock in to that confidence that you have?
So my grandfather, his name is Ernie Anastas, veteran in the news game, 50 plus years in the business. He is the real deal, the definition of the real deal. And when I was about 5, 6, 7 years old, I would visit and I would go to New York City with him. I would go to Westchester and we would go to the mall. And he's got this brightness and this confidence and this swag that no one in the world has. Yeah. And I was a young buck and I would walk with him. And everywhere we went, whether it was the city, the mall, the gas station, you name it, everybody comes up to him. Ernie, how are you? And he stops for everybody, shakes the hands, gives them kisses, hugs, autographs, pictures. And I just watched him be who he was, passing along the positivity, being there for the people. And at that young age, something clicked in my head of like, this guy is just walking around like he owns the world. And he's not walking around like he's better than anybody. He's just locked in on being Ernie Anastas. I said to myself, wow, like if I just be positive and I be who I really am, quite like he's who he really is, I'm going to get there and I'm going to do it. And it's hard because when you give your full, wholehearted self to the world, you get a lot of judgment because people wish they could be like that. And it's like, you can just stop caring about what anybody thinks of you, and all the right people will flock and all the wrong people will fade away. They'll talk their talk. Oh, who's this fake guy? Who's this positive guy? Well, thank you. You're just putting my name out to the universe for more people to know about me. And I'm just locked in on going higher and higher. So you basically gain confidence through literally being yourself, not changing for anyone, which means you're going to lose friends. Your family might be confused about who you are at some points. You're going to move on from a lot of situations that were once comfortable to you. And you just got to be cool with that. And if you're locked in on the confidence, you get everything that you dreamed of. Wow. And that's where I'm at right now. Confident, cool, collected.
I like that. So we've been talking about confidence on this show. And I've been telling people, imposter syndrome, it isn't the lack of confidence. It's the inconsistency in confidence. Where do you find your consistency and confidence? Because having a grandfather and your dad be greats in the news industry, it's easy to fall into that. I'm a fraud. I'm just here. No one, tell me how that's been for you.
You really just have to dig deep. And for me, it's about self-love. And I want to make it very clear that I do not think I'm better than anybody, because I don't compare myself to anybody. I don't compare myself to my father, to my grandfather, to artists or athletes or entrepreneurs that I look up to. I don't compare myself to anybody. So I have to figure out, how can I fully go crazy on loving who I am? So I take care of my physical health. I do what I love. I'm around all the right people. I partake in activities that give me life and give me joy, whether it's through music, whether it's through sports, whether it's through hosting, whatever it might be. And whenever I put myself in a situation where it's a challenge, whether it's on a TV show, I'm with a microphone somewhere, I just literally tell myself, I'm like, everybody who came before me, everybody that I look up to, they once dealt with this. They once dealt with all this uncertainty, this imposter syndrome phenomenon. They dealt with it. And look at where they were able to go. My grandfather, 100% dealt with this. Same with my dad. But they were able to push through the fear, because fear is always going to get in the way. No matter who you are, Michael Jordan, any great, fear is right there. But if you're going to let that stop you, you're never going to impact the world. You're never going to give this universe exactly what you're supposed to give it. So I just believe in myself. I know I'm going to get there. I'm in no rush. There's no destination, because the journey is everything. The journey is the dream. Locked in on climbing, no limit in sight.
Yeah. Men and women address the imposter phenomenon way differently. They deal with it way differently. For women, it's always this internal thing that we're trying to fight. But you're explaining all of these external things that you push past. You talked about the mindset, but you're using that to push against external things. Tell me, have you noticed that, especially being in this industry surrounded by a lot of women in media, have you noticed those differences when it comes to how both deal with the imposter phenomenon?
When it comes to men and women dealing with the imposter syndrome, I know for a fact that any woman and any man can deal with it. We all have our own pain. We've all failed so many times. We all suffer adversity in every different way. So you got to adjust to whatever comes at you, and you got to, again, lock in on bouncing back breaking free from it, and just overall knowing there isn't a limit. There's no reason why I can't do this. And it's really, much easier said than done.
Yeah.
It's easy to say, yeah, I can do this, but are you actually going to take action? And speaking of action, here is a key phrase that I love to say anytime I'm in my head freaked out, besides locked in. You're going to practice this.
Okay.
Action alleviates anxiety. Action alleviates anxiety.
Okay.
Anytime you're feeling some type of way, just go take action. Go record a video. Go ride your bike. Go lift the weights. Go eat a hearty meal. Go call somebody. Go talk to somebody. And then immediately the anxiety will flutter away. You go do what you have to do, whether it applies to your journey, whether it applies to your mental health. Action alleviates anxiety, and anybody can follow that and they'll be fine.
Yeah. What I love about you, Billy, is you have this genuine positivity about you. One of the things that I love most from just the videos I've seen that you put out there on social media is you driving around dishing out compliments to people.
Yeah, I love it.
It's the best weekend of your life, all right?
You don't hold in that positivity. Tell me, what even made you think, I'm going to get in a car and I'm going to drive around and tell people that they're great?
Because I'm all about saying that. Say that. Say that. You see somebody walking down the street, right?
Yeah.
And they're wearing a really cool ball cap. A nice woman's wearing a nice dress. And you walk past and instantly you're in your head, you're like, oh, I like that hat. Oh, I like her dress. I like her hairstyle. I like his watch. Just say it. Like, why are you keeping it inside?
Yeah.
Same with social media. Somebody makes a great posts a great video, a photo shoot, whatever it might be, promoting whatever they promote. Why not just leave a comment? You see a really cool picture of your best friend on the top of some mountain. Instantly, you're like, this is incredible. So don't just like it and scroll past it. Like it and be like, yo, this is so cool. Congratulations on climbing this mountain. In person, it obviously can really hit because it takes a lot to say something to somebody that you don't know, right?
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable because you don't know the person walking next to you. You don't know the person you're driving next to in the car. But why not say something? Because that could make their whole day. And you know what it's like to dress nice, to look beautiful. You take a lot of time to do that, right? You're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for yourself. But when somebody gives you a fine compliment, you're always going to be like, oh, wow, like someone noticed, somebody recognized that. This is so sweet. So if you can be that plug, if you can be that energy source and you can dish that out, I'm not saying you're going to change the world in that moment, but you could say something nice to somebody about how they look today and they're like, wow, okay, I look good. Then they might be inclined to go say that to somebody else, give them a compliment. Then you start this chain reaction and you don't even know how long this can go. But always just focus on making one person's day, whether it's through a compliment, whether it's telling them they did a good job on something, giving them respect for their hard work, whether you're in the car screaming it out the window, whether you're on social media seeing it. It's just been so fun because you're putting out the energy that you want back and you just make the world a better place.
Yeah. People who deal with this syndrome, especially women, they have a hard time accepting those compliments. Mm-hmm. And what people found was it wasn't the compliment itself, it was the wording in the compliment that made all of the difference. And what I love about what you go around and do, it isn't just, hey, you're great. It's, oh man, you look like you're having a great day. You're gonna have an even better day. So I really love that you do that. It caught my eye. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's crazy.
Crazy is an ultimate compliment.
Yes.
When somebody says you're crazy, and I get that a lot, I say, thank you so much. That's a fine compliment.
Yeah.
You're so sweet. Because it's the truth, because people fear crazy. Everybody, for some reason, they want to be normal, or they think they have to fit into this box of being normal, following the way.
Yeah.
What way? The societal way? That way's no good.
Yeah.
No good for me. Might be good for others, no good for me. So if I'm doing my thing and it's different and it's crazy to you, that's when I know I'm doing it right. There's actually a funny story. So there was one time where I went to a dinner with a bunch of people that I didn't know. And I was, talking about my positive stuff. I'm spitting my game. I'm doing what I want to do. And one girl said to me, like, what if somebody doesn't want to hear this? Like, what if I don't care for any of this? And I said, I'm glad you brought that up, because people like you just prove to me that I'm doing everything right. If I'm scaring you away just by being positive, I know 100% I'm doing it right, because not a lot of people possess that good energy. Very few do. And the majority can't handle it. They don't want to face the truth. They don't want to embrace being themselves. So instead, they'll give you a little, crap for it. They'll be a little snotty. They'll be a little, what the heck are you doing? It's like, well, you're just proof to me that I'm killing it and I should be doing exactly what I'm doing. She got up, she left, she never came back, and I had a great rest of my night. Wow. And all I did was thank her for calling me out. So pretty much, the moral of the story is be crazy, be yourself, don't disrespect people, but literally be who you are and then scare away those people. Be cool with that. You don't want nothing to do with them. I'm crazy and I know it, and I'm with other crazies and we're killing it.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, you and I are both journalists, and I don't think people understand that in that space, we're creatives. I don't think people kind of put those two together all the time, because it's like, oh, this is news and the facts and everything, but there's a lot of creativity that goes into what we do. And creatives are in that group of people that deal with imposter syndrome the most, because it's just, the work is subjective. It's someone's going to decide that they love it, and then somebody else is going to come and say, I don't like that as much. How do you push past or decide to have the confidence to say, I don't care if you like it or you don't like it, I'm just Billy?
It's a great question. The way I see it is, whether I make a song, a video, do a story, make a post, anything creative in that field, I'm going to create it. And if I watch it back, listen to it, whatever, and I know in my head, this is good, this is funny, I like this, I know for a fact it's good. I know for a fact that it's good. Why would I ever make something and then hope, I hope everybody likes it? Everybody? You know for sure that someone is going to hate it, but someone's also going to love it more than you even love it. So why are you going to tailor everything you do to other people? You got to have the confidence, no matter what, to create something, look at it and be like, yeah, I absolutely destroyed this. This is money. This is special. This is it. You post it. You don't care about the negativity. And, I don't even want to say like you don't care about the positivity, because I do care about the positivity. Of course, I'm grateful for nice compliments. I love impacting people, but that doesn't even really matter as much as well, because it's like, you did the job, the right people are going to respect it, and then you're just on to the next, no matter what. You make the video, you make the project, you're on to the next, no matter what. You put your heart and your soul into the story, into whatever it is that you created. You looked at it, this is it. This is money. So put it out there. It is. But if you're just going to wait for the validation, if you're not going to put stuff out just because there's going to be people that hate it and you can't deal with it, then you're just never going to get to the places you're supposed to go. So you got to dig deep and know, if I think it's good, post, share, done, on to the next.
And you've talked about this as well as you being a up-and-coming artist as well.
Yes.
I love it because you're freestyling these encouraging messages. I think you're tapping into a niche that no one has really tapped into when it comes to that. Because when we think about hip-hop and rap and all of that, we think about some of the negative, but no one looks at those positive messages that people are putting out. Mm-hmm. And you talked about struggling with freestyling at first. And it took you a long time to have that confidence to know that you weren't being a fraud when it came to that. Especially, just go ahead and just drop a beat for me.
You want me to give you something?
Yes, I'm looking at you and I'm like, I feel like you have a beat in you.
You ready, Bre?
I'm ready.
I know that you're hungry, you better devour. A beast lives within, unleash your power. Losers will judge while we take what's ours. Damn, they'll feel stupid when we become stars. Everything I say always comes true. Talk your shit, it'll work for you too. Speak it, believe it, then make your move. Why stay still when you got something to prove? You owe it to yourself to be an all-time great. Embrace all the pressure, you can handle the weight. Don't wait around, you ain't getting saved. One day you'll be grateful for the path you paved. Let's go.
Wow, sir.
Get what you want, no need to flaunt. I'ma just do it myself. You like that?
Yes, that was something. That was definitely something.
You know I'm ready for
and
you.
then he winks. He even winks. Oh my gosh.
We've been locked in.
So how is it feeling doing that? How do you have that confidence when you're showing up in that space? How do you show up and fight that voice?
Because, like I said, I've been ready. I've been prepared.
Yeah.
It was about 2018 where I moved to Wyoming, and my best friend at the time, still one of my best friends to this day, his name is Carmine Jame. He was the sports anchor for KTWO in Casper. I was the morning anchor for Casper, KTWO. And we would hang out 24/7 when we weren't working. We were hanging out all the time. And when we first started hanging out, he's like, hey, you want to freestyle rap? And I couldn't do it. I tried for my buddies in college. They all would make fun of me. Rightfully so. I was terrible. So we would freestyle rap together, me and Carmine. And at first, I really didn't want to. And I would, kind of do it here and there. I was like, all right, like maybe I can just go along with this. This is my best friend. If I mess up in front of him a bunch of times, it's okay. And he was really good. He had been freestyling, like in college. He had the confidence. I didn't have that confidence. But we would freestyle every time we were together. We'd throw on beats and just go minute after minute. And I was trash for months, for almost a year, almost like 2 years or so.
Oh, wow.
And then a girlfriend of mine who was fantastic, her name was Melissa, whole different story, but she gave me the confidence to record myself and post it on Instagram. This was during Corona back in 2020 in like April, May, that whole era.
Oh,
so after
fresh.
a few years of like freestyling and practicing, I had the confidence to start posting freestyles on Instagram. And if you look back at them now, they weren't that good. At the time, I thought they were incredible, but they weren't. The lyrics were good, but the flow was just not there. But I had been doing it. I've been putting myself out there. Then a couple of years go by. Now it's, 2021. So about a year and a half goes by. I linked up with a soul brother of mine, one of my best friends, Jay Sway, back in Albany. My other soul brother, Colby G. These two guys mean the whole world to me. And I said, there's so many artists out here that are creating greatness. They're doing their thing. I have these messages. I've been working on my flow. I've been working on my confidence. Why not make my own tracks? Why not hop on a real beat, hop in a real studio, and make this dream become a reality? I'm just rapping about what I want to rap about, the positive messages. So when I show up to these venues and I perform, when I show up to the studio to record, I don't look at myself as like, oh, I don't fit in here. I don't fit the profile. I know that I'm Billy Floyd. I fit the Billy Floyd profile. And if I just give my whole self to this world, that's making history, because there's never been a Billy Floyd doing what Billy Floyd is doing. So like I said earlier, no comparison. You just look up to the legends like Russ, Big Sean, Jack Harlow, whoever it might be. And I just don't, hey, if they can talk about what they want to talk about, if they believe in who they are like I believe in who I am, why can't I be at that level? Why can't I create like they do? So I'm grateful for the inspirations, and I'm even more grateful that I trust myself.
Yeah. Trusting yourself. Unpack that. What does that mean?
It literally means no matter what, you're gonna get the job done. No matter what, you're going to win. And to trust yourself, like I said before, you have to love yourself at all costs. So that means being at peace. And to get to the point of being at peace, you got to take care of all the basics. And I mentioned earlier, your physical health, your mental health, who you're around. And once you're in that healthy mental space of like, all right, I feel good, I look good, I'm about to go play good. I'm about to play at the highest level. And don't get me wrong, you're gonna lose so many more times than you're gonna win. Here's a stat for you, and I'm sure a lot of basketball fans know this. Kobe Bryant, the late great, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time.
Don't start a debate on my show.
We're not going to do a debate here. You got Jordan, LeBron, Larry, Magic. Of course, Kobe is right in there in that conversation. He has missed more shots than any player in the history of basketball. He missed more shots than anyone, and he's still considered the GOAT because nobody cares about the misses. They only care about the championships, the titles, all the real buckets. And you can't win those titles. You can't score those points without relentlessly shooting. And do you ever think he took a shot thinking like, oh, I hope this one goes in? No, he knew it was going in. And if it didn't, okay, on to the next. Boop, we're done. That's key.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're gonna come back if you fail. And when you do fail after trusting yourself, you don't just bounce back up and start running again like a madman or a madwoman. You fail, you stay down for a little bit, you think about, okay, I'm broken right now. How do I rebuild myself to get back to where I was and then jump a little higher the next time? So you have to bounce back after a failure and just trust the universe has its plan, I'm doing everything right, and it's all gonna work out. But if you're not putting yourself first, if you're not putting your health first, if you're not doing what you love, it's impossible to trust yourself because you don't even believe in you. You don't even love yourself. You can't trust yourself at that point.
Yeah.
So focus on you, trust that you're gonna get there, and trust that even when you fall really, really bad, you're gonna just ascend higher. Every setback is a for a comeback.
Yeah. And that they probably have these moments. We just don't see those moments. We see the finished product and we go, man, they've made it. They've arrived, not realizing they're still arriving. They're still trying to figure it out. They're still going.
They're just getting started, honestly.
And they have these moments too. And just because you have these moments doesn't mean you're great. You know, it just means that you're going to have to dig deep, lock in, and move forward.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Well, Billy, you're the real deal. Thank you so much.
I feel like the real deal. And
I know you do.
And you're the real deal, too, because I know that you have this great history in the television industry, being on multiple different channels all across the country. And you're just getting started, too, on this whole new journey. You have your own show. Yeah. Like, whoever it might have been that you looked up to.
Is this my show?
This is your show. Nice. Think about, like, Ellen DeGeneres or Oprah. Anybody that you definitely watched when you were on your way.
Yeah.
And you probably sat there and thought, like, wow, Ellen is so cool. Oprah, she's the one. And now, look at you. You have your own chair. You have your own guests, your own crew. They're working for you. They're here for you because you knew, hey, I'm as real as it gets. I'm the real deal. And I'm just going to have my show because I know I can. And if someone tried to tell you you're a little too crazy, I don't know if you can pull that off, you just know. They just wish. They wish they could do this. I'm actually going to work for it and I'm going to do it. So for you to have your own program, me to be on the show, we're the real deal, baby.
The real deal.
Locked.